Hello everybody and welcome back to our channel. This week we are driving through the beautiful country of Botswana and we are heading towards Kubu Island on the Makgadikgadi pans. On this trip we were traveling up from the southern part of Botswana towards Kubu Island. It is of vital importance that you do the necessary planning and preparation before you make your way to Kubu Island. At the campsite itself there is literally nothing. In essence it is wild camping, and the nearest town where you can stock up will be a few hours drive away on a 4x4 track. And for that reason it is of vital importance to plan your food, water and fuel supplies beforehand, and probably take a bit extra along with you because you never know what could happen. I've highlighted the 4 main cities where you can stock up on food as well as fuel before making your way to Kubu, as well as the distance to the island itself. After a fuel stop in Lekhlekane earlier the day, we were soon making our way through the small village of Mwachunu, where we got off the tar road and made our way onto the gravel tracks that will lead us to Kubu Island. The first part of the track is a good gravel road that will lead you to the lookout point where you can have a beautiful view over the pans. We had a quick stop to admire the view and take some incredible photos before deflating our tires in preparation for the next leg of the journey. From here on, the roads really turn into 4x4 tweespoor tracks. There are a lot of tracks scattered throughout the area here, but all of them should lead you in more or less the same direction towards Kubu itself. But be sure to prep your route beforehand and take a GPS along with you, preferably one with Tracks for Africa on it, and you shouldn't get lost. We were here in July, so it was the dry season and the tracks were generally not that bad. Here and there it's a bit sandy and a bit tricky and a bit rocky, but all in all not too big of a challenge. However, in summertime, when it's the wet season, it becomes a totally different ballgame. We had a small taste of this a few years back when we were fortunate enough to explore the pans on the back of some quad bikes, and even on something as light as a quad bike we were getting stuck the whole day. If you are planning on doing this in the wet time, you are in for some serious 4x4 driving, as these areas basically flood and it's just one big mud bath. But if you're traveling here, it's always a good idea to have the adequate recovery gear with you to ensure that you can get yourself out if you get stuck, because you don't know when the next car might pass. Soon we cleared the shrubbery on the edge of the pan and we were starting to make our way onto the pan itself. It's here where you really start to experience the vastness and the emptiness of this incredible place. We continued on further towards the reception gate at Kubu. Along the way you'll see a few signs that will guide you in the general direction, but some of them have already fallen over. And it wasn't long before we reached the office where we could check in for our stay. We made our booking through Footprints and it was all sorted when we checked in. At the office you can also buy bundles of firewood at a reasonable price. After we finished checking in, we were back in the cars and making our way to the campsites. It's about a kilometers or so drive from the gate to the campsites themselves that are all scattered along the edge of the island. The campsites work on a first come first serve basis, so after driving around and finding our perfect spot, we got to setting up camp. The campsites at Kubu are all different shapes and sizes, with some being able to fit larger groups, while others you'll only fit 1 or 2 cars on. The terrain you camp on will be a hard gravel terrain, so be sure to pack in the right tent pegs for that. And although there are trees scattered throughout all the campsites, they don't really offer that much shade, so be sure to pack in a gazebo or form of awning to provide shade throughout the day. We finished setting up our camp before settling in for our first day at Kubu Island. And of course there's no electricity, so if you need to keep batteries charged you will need to take solar panels with you. Kubu Island is totally off-grid and everything you need to survive you will need to take with you, including water. The ablution facilities consists of a few long drops scattered throughout the camp, but they're not in the greatest condition, so if you have a porta potty you can take that along. We were very lucky and we got a campsite right on the edge of the island overlooking the pans, and what a spectacular view that was. And as the sun was starting to set, the view just got better and better. And as it got dark we got the fires going and settled in for an awesome braai at Kubu. And at night time you get to experience a whole different side of Kubu as the skies light up with millions upon millions of stars. The next morning we got up at a leisurely pace as we had the whole day to explore the island. We spent the whole morning walking around the island, admiring some of the breathtaking views and looking at some of the big baobab trees that can be found on the island. Walking and exploring the island was really a special experience. You can even see some of the historical ruins still located on the island, and the whole island is a national monument and is still a sacred place to the indigenous people. The pans used to be Lake Makgadikgadi back in the day, but as the water evaporated, the salt pans started to exist, and the islands that used to be in the lake, such as Kubu Island, is now surrounded by big salt pans. Kubu Island is situated on the Sua pan, which is one of the three main pan areas that form the Makgadikgadi pans. These pans cover about 16,000 square kilometers of space and they are absolutely incredible to explore. You really start to experience the vastness and the emptiness and the absolute majesty of this place once you start walking on these pans. And after experiencing another incredible African sunset, it was time to go back to camp and settle in for our last night at Kubu. And it was with a heavy heart the next morning that we had to leave Kubu behind and continue up north between the pans onto our next adventure. If you are in the Cape Town area and you are looking to hire a camping trailer for a weekend getaway or for a holiday, look no further than us. We have a camping trailer that you can rent out with all the basic essentials you will need to enjoy your camping trip, as well as a rooftop tent. I will put a link in the description below where you can go view the trailer and make a booking. Thank you for watching this video, and as always, happy camping until next time.